Hi, welcome to the Shelley Studio. Today I'm back on my mini art book obsession. Excuse my voice today. These papers are jelly printed papers, just done with a couple of colors and printed. No stenciling, no mark making, just putting the paint on the gel plate and seeing what happens. So this is what I ended up with, and I have lots of pages of just color. So I saw a video on a Lotus fold. I was searching artist books, and so I wanted to try the Lotus fold technique. So that's what I'm doing. I'm cutting these sheets down to 4x4 squares. And I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. You can make it as long as you want. That's what I did, was 5. And I believe you need an odd number to have, if you want to do a kind of a book cover where it opens on a particular side, you need an odd number to get it to work. So hopefully you can see how I'm folding that. I'm folding it on the square edges, both directions, and then on the diagonal, I guess, point to point for the other direction, and then collapsing it. Do I need to slow that down? Maybe I do. Hold on. Okay, I think this is about normal speed. So you fold it in half. It's like origami, you know? And then you open it up and fold it in half the other direction. And then you're going to fold 2 points together. Try to make sure you line it up pretty good there. And then you're going to close it in on itself, tucking in the 2 angles. Hopefully that was better at that speed. This is about as good as I get at a tutorial, I tell you. Alright, so now we're going to glue them all together, and you want opposite points. So you're going to take one end where the opening, maybe you'll be able to see here. So you see that? So one opens one way and the other opens the opposite direction. So you're getting the... not very good at explaining, am I? I'm more of a visual person, obviously. So the fold end on one side matches the cut end on the other side. So they open opposite of each other, and then they'll lay flat. And if you wanted it to get really crazy, you could probably, I don't know, have it do other things. But this is just to get it to lay flat. We won't get complicated. We'll just keep it a straight line. So there. Now I can pull it out and it can be all nice and flat. There we go. Alright, so that is the basic construction, and now I'm going to use poor man's chipboard. So I just took a saltine cracker box and I cut it up. I made it... Actually, it's probably about 1/2 inch bigger than the folded square. So my covers are 2.5 inches actually. So yeah, about 1/2 inch bigger. So I glued 2 of them together to make them a little bit stiffer. And now I'm just picking some of my scraps and going to use that to cover them. I'm using Fabri-Tac because I like that it doesn't warp the paper. Sometimes when I use a wet glue, it tends to warp the paper a little bit. So the Fabri-Tac works great. You could probably do this part with a glue stick or whatever. I cut the corners off, leaving just enough so that it will cover the corner. I leave, just, I don't even know, 1/8 of an inch, something. Just a little teeny bit. Now I'm using my art glitter glue. I'm pushing that down, and then I use my bone folder to tuck those sides down so that they don't stick out. And that the corners get covered really well. I just take it and I push it. There's one side done. I'll just quickly do the other side. So yeah, I'm still obsessed with the mini books. I just love them. I'm gonna have to come up with an original idea. Like, well, not necessarily how to make the book, but just the interior. Come up with some interesting theme. I've been watching. Since I've been watching how to make artist books and stuff, I've seen a lot of videos from different art museums and art libraries, and they've done flip-throughs of artist books that are way more elaborate than I could ever do, but like they're printed out, like some of them have their own printing system to print one-of-a-kind books. It's like, wow. Okay, so now I'm gonna glue the covers on. So I'm just taking one end and I'm gonna try and center it right in the middle. And then I open it up and press it down, make sure it's good and pressed down. And I'm gonna do the same thing with this one, only this time I'm gonna line the cover up with the cover on the bottom so that it is nice and square. And then press it down. So now we have our book. And they're fun. They're fun to just open and close. Open and close. Alright. So now I've got it. I figured I better fill it. So I found a digital download of a bazillion butterflies and cut them all out by hand. I printed them just on an inkjet printer. And cut them all out, and yeah, we're gonna just cover this thing with butterflies. Took me a while between when I made the book and when I filled the book because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do inside. Then I remembered I had this download of butterflies and thought it would be really fun just to like completely cover it in butterflies. And I have this like way sped up. But I thought it would be fun to see it grow with all the butterflies. And I guess if you don't want to watch me glue all the butterflies in, oops, tore that one. You'll never know. I just patched it. Anyways, you can skip ahead a few minutes if you want to get past me doing all the butterflies. It's really fast, so it's probably only a few minutes. Or you can use the gear when you're watching YouTube. You can speed it up even faster if you'd like. You thought I was done, didn't you? We have the whole backside to do. And lots of colorful butterflies and moths. There are butterflies and moths, because moths, there's some really pretty moths out there, so I have to include them. So once I get all the butterflies on, I want to put their antennas back on, because I did not cut the antennas out. Are you crazy? I figured it would be easier just to draw some antennas on the butterflies and the moths. And once I get that done, now hopefully it's dried enough, the glue is dried enough that I can fold these. It has to get used to folding again, because I did go over some of the folded areas. Oops, that one's needs a little bit more glue. I did overlap some of the butterflies because some of them were quite big, like that one. So it has to get used to folding again. Trying to wait for that little tip to dry a little bit. Still feels wet. Okay, we'll start on this end. Maybe it'll be dry by the time I get there. Or at least fold. There we go. Fold. Ugh. Okay. That seems like such a struggle. Okay, squish it down. See if we can open it and close it. Almost. It'll get there with practice. It'll get some memory in there. So then I needed a quote. So I added a quote, and I'll just read it to you. Happiness is a butterfly which, when pursued, is always just beyond your grasp. But if you will sit quietly, or sit down quietly, may alight upon you. And that was Nathaniel Hawthorne. Found that quote. And I thought it fit perfectly. And I just kind of write it around in a meandering path through the book. And I thought it was going to end up, wasn't going to be long enough to do both sides, but the path I take through the butterflies causes it to go on both sides. So I write it on this side too, and that's kind of light. So I do end up going around all of the lettering with a fine tip pen. Just a micron, I think, is what I end up using. But I don't make you watch that whole thing. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize part of that is out of focus. But I don't make you watch this whole thing, because that took quite a while. There we go. Alright, so getting it folded back up again. And that's my book. I hope you like it. It was a lot of fun to create. Oh, wait. I do put a tie on it because I just like closures. So I stuck a butterfly on the front. Actually, it's a moth, maybe. On the front of the cover. So I would know which way was front. And I thought it would help me anyway. And then I just took some ribbon and I glue it to the back. I know this kind of opens at the corner, but I mean, as long as you have the general direction, I think it's okay. And this striped piece is just circle punched out of, you know, those colorful Kleenex boxes? Yeah, that's what that is. And then it can just tie in a bow. And there it is. Anyways, I hope you liked this project. If you have the ambition, you should give it a try. It was a lot of fun. If you liked it, leave me a comment, thumbs up, all the good things, and thank you all for watching. Have an awesome day.